Dementia Researcher with the blog and narrating.
I know I've done a few blogs about opportunities outside of research for graduate students, but I feel the role of an ISTAART Ambassador needs a whole blog for itself. It probably sounds super cheesy, but being an ISTAART Ambassador has been one of the best things I've done throughout my PhD. And I want to make sure as many of you hear about it as possible so that you can apply and hopefully also have an amazing experience. So this month's blog is going to be an insight into my experience as an ISTAART Ambassador, where I'll reflect on some of the things I've gained from the experience so far. So if you've not heard of ISTAART, then let me give you a little bit of information. It stands for the International Society to Advance Alzheimer's Research and Treatment. And the whole point of the society is to bring together the global community of dementia researchers, professionals, and clinicians to network, collaborate, and advance our knowledge of dementia. Joining the society, which did I say was free for students, can give you lots of benefits, too many for me to fit into this blog. But one of the major benefits, in my opinion, is access to the 29 professional interest areas, or peers for short. The peers are groups of individuals of similar interests where the most up-to-date research can be shared and collaborations can be initiated. A developing programme ISTAART introduced this year is the year-round ambassador role. This role not only includes volunteering throughout AAIC, but also involves the ambassadors spreading the word about ISTAART through giving presentations during the rest of the year. After the whirlwind of AAIC and a week break to recuperate, I decided to sit and reflect on the whole experience of attending such a large conference and my role as an ISTAART ambassador throughout. And I managed to whittle down my experience, and especially what I gained from the experience, into the 3 C's: confidence, community, and connections. So what about confidence? Well, as I mentioned, one of the responsibilities as ISTAART ambassadors is to spread the word far and wide about ISTAART. And one of the ways we do this is by giving presentations. So presentations are a funny one because in academia, we can't really avoid them. And at some point we have to do 1 or 2 despite not always enjoying them. The experience of giving a presentation about something that was not science was a relatively new experience for me. And it definitely helped me gain confidence regarding giving talks like this. Another part of our role as ISTAART ambassadors was to either be a chair or attendee supervisor. This meant that we had to talk to lots of people at the conference. And with the chair supervisor role, this meant we also had to speak and liaise with academics. This for me was one of the best parts of the conference, getting to introduce myself and talk about their work and my future plans. I think one thing I've definitely taken from my role as an ISTAART ambassador is the confidence to now go up to other academics, especially ones giving talks. As an early career researcher, it can be super daunting approaching people in the field. But what this role showed me is that these people are just people. They are normal human beings, and actually, most of them really enjoy chatting with early career researchers. I asked other ISTAART ambassadors about their own experiences too, and Holly Ingram from the USA told me that AAIC fostered an atmosphere of inspiration that helped me find the confidence I'm on the right path to pursuing a career in neurodegenerative medicine. As a first-generation student, I'm filled with gratitude to be an ISTAART ambassador, and I have the opportunity to learn from clinicians and researchers across the world. So what about community? Well, one thing that I'm sure many students can resonate with is how hard it has been to make friends and meet other PhD students over the past few years. However, put 26 ambassadors from all over the world who all have one thing in common, an interest in dementia research, as well as making them spend long days together and support each other throughout the week, you can be pretty sure that some strong bonds will form. It was such a privilege to get to work with all of the ambassadors in person. It was so wonderful to be part of a community of like-minded individuals, and each one of us had something really unique we brought to the role, and that was really special. It was also awesome to hear about everyone's experiences with their own research, as it's sometimes easy to surround yourself with people who only do the same work as yourself. I love how now I have friends all around the world. And one thing I really love about the scheme is that, as it's now a year-long programme, it means we can all continue to work with each other, having our monthly meetings and hopefully seeing each other at other conferences too. So what about connections then? Well, in our meetings prior to attending AAIC as ambassadors, we heard on a number of occasions that the purple shirt has power, and they certainly were right. Not only did I make connections with other ambassadors, but I was able to make connections with a number of lab groups who work on similar things to myself. AAIC is a great conference to establish new connections, and you can establish these through the peers, where you can virtually meet and work with people and then meet them in person at the conference. But I do feel that by being an ISTAART ambassador, you are able to take advantage of the purple shirt and the exposure this has and create even more connections. I spoke with so many researchers about my work, but also about the role as an ISTAART ambassador. I know a number of people have created new connections and are starting to establish collaborations. And I know of at least one of us who got a postdoc job, all from attending AAIC. I'm also not the only ambassador who found the experience as an ISTAART ambassador at AAIC beneficial. Lizzie English, a fellow ambassador from the UK, told me that AAIC provided me with a unique opportunity to meet dementia researchers from across the world, helping me build strong, new, international friendships and collaborations. So when I think about it, there is just so much more I gained from attending AAIC and being an ambassador, but that is just way too much for this blog. But if you are at all interested in the role or just want to know more about ISTAART, then there are plenty of us to ask. So feel free to reach out and you can contact me on Twitter or Instagram. So now you've read what you may be able to gain from becoming an ISTAART ambassador, I'm sure you're wondering, okay, well, how can I become one? Well, I know it's a while away, but applications will open around January or February. So keep your eyes peeled for updates. But in the meantime, join ISTAART, get involved with the peers, and take advantage of the many opportunities that come with being a member.
Thank you for listening. Join the Dementia Research bloggers and share your own views.